Chapter 1381. With a sigh of resignation, Orissa pinched Jasper's little face, reminding him, "You can't be distracted during class. You must listen carefully to the teacher's explanations. Don't make Jesse lose interest in studying too." "Mommy," Jasper was playing with his Rubik's Cube secretly in class. Jesse ran over and reported. Orissa chuckled, her gaze fixed on Jasper. Jasper lowered his head, but his eyes were cautiously watching her. "Hand over the Rubik's Cube." She reached out in front of Jasper, intending to confiscate it. Jasper bit his lip, then went over to the study. He rummaged around before finally handing the Rubik's Cube to Orissa. "If you play games again in class, then I would have to punish you severely." Jasper glanced at her and muttered under his breath, "It's not like I was the only one playing." Orissa narrowed her eyes, staring at him for a moment, then glanced over at Zachary. "Then why are you the only one who can't solve the question?" Jasper lowered his head. He dared not say anything more. "Mommy, I can't do this question." Jesse, seeing that Jasper was scolded by Orissa, felt a bit guilty and wanted to divert Orissa's attention. Orissa looked at Jesse. "If Jasper was playing in class, then what were you doing?" Jesse was taken aback. She was obviously watching Jasper play at the time. Jesse's face turned all red. Jasper took delight in others' misfortune and said to Orissa, "She was watching me play and didn't pay attention in class." "Ha, are you acting proud now?" Orissa gave the boy a sidelong glance. Jasper immediately fell silent and stood by the bed with his head lowered as if admitting his mistake. "How will you be able to learn more if you guys don't pay attention in class?" Orissa looked back and forth between the two little ones, her tone stern. "You can play during breaks and after school, but during class, your attention should be on the lesson." "Mommy, we know we were wrong." Jasper quickly admitted their mistake. "Mommy, I was wrong. I will pay attention in class from now on," Jessie said, twisting her small hands nervously as she apologized. Orissa reminded them, "Don't apologize to me here and then forget about it immediately." "That won't happen," Jasper firmly responded. "I will make sure we study hard." "You must do it." Orissa flicked his forehead. Jasper chuckled and stuck out his tongue. "Bring your homework here. I will explain it to you once, so make sure you remember it well." Orissa gave them both a look before she started helping them with their homework. The 6 little ones finished their homework in her room and then picked up a storybook to read to her. In reality, they were reading to the baby in her belly. "You must study hard and strive to become a promising child in the future. You can't let mommy down, understand?" Jasper said seriously as he gently touched her belly. "How do you have the nerve to lecture your younger brother when you haven't even been focusing on your studies?" Zachary glanced at Jasper, throwing a sarcastic remark his way. Orissa was caught between laughter and tears. Seeing how they were acting, she said, "The baby in my belly can't hear what you're saying yet. He can hear us, so we should build a good relationship with him in advance. That way, he'll listen to us after he's born." Oliver adjusted his glasses, looking very serious. Gavin also nodded in agreement, chiming in, "Mommy, this is called prenatal education. He needs to be taught early. Even if he can't hear us, you can, and that's the same as him hearing us. When he's born, he'll be very smart." Tim chuckled, gazing at her belly as if he were looking at his little brother. "Who taught you that?" Orissa couldn't help but laugh as she watched their little grown-up antics. "We learned it from books." Zachary glanced at her and pursed his lips. "Mommy, we're smart, aren't we?" Jess's eyes sparkled, looking at her as if seeking praise. "You sure are," Orissa said with a smile as she playfully ruffled their hair and caressed their heads. Chapter 1382. It wasn't until Benjamin came up and asked them to come down for dinner that Orissa and the children stopped their chattering. "Come on, let's go eat. Tonight, we're having the fish your dad caught," she called out to the children. "When did Dad go fishing?" Gavin looked at Benjamin in surprise, and the others were all staring at Benjamin, equally astonished. "I went fishing this morning," Benjamin responded and went over to carry Orissa downstairs. "Where did you catch the fish?" Jasper asked curiously. "At home," Orissa answered her son. The little one's jaws dropped in surprise, and Gavin even muttered something under his breath. "Isn't the fish inedible?" Orissa chuckled and said to him, "It's edible, and quite tasty too." The fish had very few bones, making it quite suitable for children to eat without worrying about them choking. "I see. Let's go have some food then." Jessie clapped her hands beside Orissa, seemingly excited. Orissa gave her a humorous glance and said, "Go with your brothers." "Okay, Mommy, you should hurry and come too," Jessie called out, then followed Zachary and the others as they ran downstairs. "Slow down, don't run," Orissa called out, craning her neck to look toward the door. A light chuckle escaped Benjamin's lips, and she turned her head to meet his eyes filled with amusement. "What are you laughing at?" she asked. Benjamin raised an eyebrow, a smile playing on his lips as he asked, "The children are all old enough to take care of themselves. There's no need to keep such a close watch on them. They are 5-year-olds. You call that old enough?" Orissa retorted, giving him a sidelong glance. Benjamin carried her to the bathroom first to freshen up. Then they went downstairs to eat. The little ones were thrilled. Their delight was palpable when they saw the fish from their own lake served on the dining table. They ate with great joy. "It's delicious, Mr. Graham. Next time, catch more fish." "This isn't enough." Jasper's mouth constantly moved as he chewed, but he didn't forget to say that to Benjamin. Darius, Sean and the others couldn't help but laugh. "Don't talk while eating. Be careful of the fish bones," Benjamin warned him, as the boy was quite the chatterbox. Jasper's eyes crinkled in a smile as he continued to attack the plate of fish with his fork. "This would be better with some chili peppers." Jasper's taste was similar to Orissa's. They both enjoyed spicy food. Benjamin said in a deep voice, "Your mom had too many chili peppers at noon and she got a canker sore because of them. No more chili peppers." "Orissa, does your tongue still hurt?" Sean looked at Orissa with a hint of curiosity. "Not anymore," Orissa said with an awkward smile. "Just eat less chili peppers and you'll be fine." "See, I'm absolutely fine," Darius said with a hint of pride. "You're not used to chili peppers, are you?" "Where we come from, we eat chili peppers almost every day. It really adds a kick." Mary piped up with a laugh. "I also love chili peppers, especially great-grandaunt's homemade chili," Tim said with a smile. Mary looked at him with a smile. Her voice was filled with affection when she said, "Then I'll be sure to bring back a few more bottles of it from home." Orissa's eyes lit up. "Grandaunt, the homemade chili you make is really delicious. It's good with pasta. When you come back, bring more bottles. Since you guys like it so much, we can always make some here when we run out. If we're missing any ingredients, just ask Edwin to go buy them." Sean didn't see this as a problem at all. "Well, it wouldn't taste the same anymore." Mary shook her head, explaining to him, "The chili peppers I use are only grown in our area, and even the water quality there is different. The chili peppers you can get here are big, but they lack fragrance." "He doesn't understand such things," Orissa chuckled. With a smile, Darius said to Mary, "Authenticity is what makes food delicious. These youngsters just don't understand." He then started chatting with Edwin about whether he had already prepared the gifts they needed to bring to Rudici village. Orissa was also listening to their conversation, occasionally interjecting to remind them of anything they might have missed. The 6 little ones didn't need to worry about these matters. Their gifts were already prepared, and they were enjoying their meal. Chapter 1383. The weekend came quickly. In the afternoon, Ethan, Jack, Bradley, and Edwin had already prepared everything in advance. Once the kids returned from school, they showered and had dinner. The kids were particularly excited during mealtime because they were going back to Rudici village. They could not wait to be back there already. Seeing their anxious expressions, Orissa was amused. "Eat slowly. Even if you finish eating, we still have to wait for Grandpa and the others before we can set off." At this point, the kids slowed down their pace. They wanted to urge Darius and Mary to hurry up, but seeing their advanced age, the kids did not dare to rush them. "Are you all ready with the gifts you brought for everyone?" she asked, turning to the children. The kids nodded. "We're all set." "All right. When you go over there, you must listen to Grandpa, Great-Grandaunt, and these gentlemen, understand. No running around recklessly. Wherever you go, you must stay with the adults. Don't sneak off on your own. Orissa said, reminding them to be careful. As she and Benjamin were not going this time, she could not help but worry a little. Don't worry, Mrs. Graham. We will take good care of the kids, Ethan assured her. Initially, he was not planning to go to Rudici village due to some unfinished work. However, Benjamin asked him to go along. Bradley and Jack also nodded in agreement. You can rest assured, boss, Mrs. Graham. We will take good care of them. Orissa nodded with a smile. They can be quite mischievous. Don't let them go to the deep water. They all nodded, ensuring Orissa had no need to worry. After finishing their meal, they took a brief rest before preparing to fly to Rudici village. Benjamin, Orissa, and Sean saw them off to the plane. Mommy, Mr. Graham, we're off now. Don't miss us too much. Jasper cheerfully waved them goodbye. Everyone shared a laugh, then bid each other farewell. Mommy, we're boarding the plane now. We'll call you when we arrive. Gavin told her. Orissa nodded, gently patting the kids' heads. Off you go now. Be good when you get there. Stay safe, and remember to look after your grandpa and great-grandaunt. Understood, Mommy. Tim, Zachary and Oliver said in unison. Goodbye, Mommy. Goodbye, Mr. Graham. Jesse waved to them, then followed Darius and the others. Onto the plane. Goodbye. Orissa, standing next to Benjamin, responded to the children, raising her hand to wave them goodbye. We're boarding now, Darius told them, leading the kids onto the plane. Bradley followed closely by Mary's side to support her a little. Jack and Ethan followed behind, bidding Benjamin and the others farewell before boarding the plane. Stay safe over there, Benjamin reminded. Understood, Mr. Graham. The two responded firmly, nodding at them before closing the cabin door. Benjamin led Orissa to retreat about 10 meters away. Sean and Edwin also stayed back to watch the helicopter take off. Ah, I'm so envious of them. They get to have fun. Sean said with a sigh. Orissa chuckled. Why not have them wait for you? It's not too late for you to go now. No, I can't leave. Benjamin would be worried if I left you alone. Sean chuckled a few times and glanced at Benjamin. He could not even return to the hospital, let alone follow the others to a faraway place like Rudici village. Since you have nothing to do, Mr. Bailey, help me clean up the dishes. Edwin led Sean away. They had not cleaned up the table from the earlier dinner yet. Who says I have nothing to do? I still have research to do. Sean retorted, but he still followed Edwin inside. Let's go in too. With Ethan and the others following them, there won't be any problems. Benjamin turned his head and said to Orissa. She looked at him and nodded. All right, we can use this time to pack up. Can we set off tomorrow? Chapter 1384. Sure, we're only going out for 2 days, so there's no need to pack much. Benjamin reminded her first to prevent her from packing a lot of stuff later. Orissa chuckled, her eyes sparkling as she glanced at him. Clothes have to be packed. Let me handle the packing. Don't busy yourself with it. Benjamin carried Orissa upstairs with her clinging to his neck. Don't you have other things to take care of? I can do it myself. It's not like it's heavy work, she said. Benjamin glanced at her as they returned to the bedroom. Do you want to take a bath now or wait until later? After some thought, Orissa felt she had nothing else to do, so she replied, I'll take it now. After taking a bath, it's the perfect time to pack up the luggage. All right, I'll go run the bath for you. Benjamin set her down on the bed before heading to the bathroom. He came out again to fetch her pajamas from the wardrobe. Orissa's gaze followed his figure as he moved. When he arrived in front of her, she chuckled. Benjamin raised his eyes slightly, curiously asking, What's so funny? You're becoming more and more of a caring husband and an attentive father, Orissa said teasingly. A twitch flickered at the corner of Benjamin's eyes. He pinched her nose before bending to lift and carry her to the bathroom. Do you not like it? Orissa shook her head, her heart feeling warm and fuzzy. Keep it up, Benjamin hummed in response. Once they were in the bathroom, Orissa promptly shooed him out. Taking advantage of this time, Benjamin packed the clothes for the next day's outing into a suitcase. Most of the items were hers. He only had 2 sets of clothes and even brought an extra jacket for Orissa. Orissa was still not done with her bath after he was done packing. He walked up to the bathroom door and knocked, calling out to her from outside. "Have you finished washing up?" "Wait a moment." Orissa's voice was muffled as she was getting dressed. Benjamin waited at the door for a while, then asked, "Can I come in now?" "Sure, come in," Orissa said, sitting in her chair and adjusting her nightgown. Benjamin pushed the door open, feeling quite satisfied when he saw her obediently sitting there waiting for him. He carried Orissa out before coming back to tidy up the bathroom. He did not call for the housekeeper to come up. Orissa saw the suitcase in the corner and exclaimed in surprise, "You've packed all our luggage." "All done." Benjamin emerged from the bathroom, rolling up his sleeves to reveal his lean and attractive arms. Orissa gave him a thumbs up. "Mr. Graham, you're really capable." Benjamin's eyes darkened, and his words carried a hint of ambiguity. "I can do more. Want to give it a try now?" Upon hearing his suggestive tone, Orissa gave him an annoyed glance, her ears flushing red. "You perv," she muttered under her breath. With a mischievous smile, Benjamin said, "I haven't done anything. Why are you scolding me?" Orissa merely hummed before rolling over to grab the novel from the bedside table, ignoring him. Benjamin glanced at Orissa, noticing that she was engrossed in the novel. "I'm going downstairs to work. Call me if you need anything," he said. Orissa did not respond. Benjamin sighed lightly. "She has forgotten about me so quickly." Upon hearing his sigh, Orissa glanced at him. "Got it. I thought you didn't hear me," Benjamin remarked, his brows deeply furrowed. Orissa chuckled when she heard his complaints. "How could I not listen to what you're saying? So, you're ignoring me now." Benjamin walked over, bending down to trap her at the head of the bed. The lingering sweet scent from her recent bath filled his nostrils, and he could not help but take a few deep breaths. "Who told you to say those suggestive words just now?" Orissa said, her voice playfully reproachful. Benjamin's eyes softened. He hooked her chin and leaned in for a kiss. After a brief moment of affection, he let her go. His study was still piled with work waiting for his attention. "I'm heading downstairs now." "All right." Orissa nodded, her cheeks flushed a charming shade of red. Benjamin pinched her cheek affectionately before he turned around to leave. Chapter 1385. After finishing his work in the study, Benjamin realized it was almost midnight. Recalling that they were going out the next day, he hurriedly tidied up and went upstairs. Orissa had already gone to bed. She still held the nearly finished novel in her hand, resting it on her stomach. Benjamin went over, picked it up, and placed it back on the bedside table. Orissa woke up and smiled when she saw him coming over. "You're here." "Yes," Benjamin responded, tucking her in more comfortably. "Go back to sleep. I'm going to take a shower." Orissa mumbled, closing her eyes and falling back asleep. After a while, she woke up again, struggling to stay awake. She remembered something important. "Have the children arrived at Rudisi village?" "Benjamin, have the children called you?" The sound of water in the bathroom was quite loud, so Benjamin did not hear her. He spent a few minutes showering, and when he came out, he saw that she was still awake, holding her phone as if she was about to make a call. "Who are you calling in the middle of the night?" He walked over and lay down next to her. "I want to call the kids. They should have arrived by now, but they haven't called me." Orissa glanced at him. "I'll feel more at ease giving them a call." Benjamin took her phone and smiled. "They've already called me. Go to sleep. You can call them back in the morning." "Have they arrived?" Orissa looked at him in surprise. "Could it be that the kids didn't call because they didn't want to disrupt my sleep?" "They arrived long ago. Gavin said he texted you but didn't get a reply, so he called me." Benjamin found the text message his son had sent Orissa and showed it to her. "They arrived long ago. Gavin said he texted you but didn't get a reply, so he called me." Benjamin found the text message his son had sent Orissa and showed it to her. Gavin texted, "Mommy, are you asleep? We've arrived." Orissa chuckled. Gavin is quite clever, knowing to send a text first to see if I'm asleep. If I replied, he would call me. If not, he wouldn't disturb me. She glanced at the time stamp on the text message. I haven't gone to bed at that time. How could I have missed the sound of the incoming message? I didn't even hear the text message alert. I must have been engrossed in my novel. She was somewhat annoyed. Benjamin was amused. He placed her phone back on the bedside table and pulled her into his arms. Is it really that interesting? Some parts were quite exciting. Orissa retorted, a smirk playing on her lips. Benjamin gently stroked her head and leaned down to kiss her forehead. Sleep now, he said. We'll set off after breakfast tomorrow. Okay. Orissa nodded, yawning as she closed her eyes to sleep. Knowing that the children had arrived at Rutasii village, she had no worries left and quickly fell asleep. Benjamin had been working overtime until this late hour and was also tired. Holding her, he quickly fell asleep. Early the next day, Orissa's phone was already buzzing non-stop before she even woke up. She first snagged the phone from Benjamin and quickly answered the call when she saw it was from the kids. Her voice was clear and crisp, unlike someone who had just woken up. It seems she had a good rest last night. Good morning, sweetheart, Orissa said warmly, her voice filled with affection. Mommy, are you up? We got up just after 5 and followed great-grandaunt to the vegetable garden. The fields were shrouded in mist. It was so beautiful. Jasper's voice also reached Benjamin's ears since the volume of Orissa's phone was not low. You're all up so early. Did you all get a good rest last night? Did anyone have trouble sleeping in a new place? Orissa asked with a smile, her eyes sparkling like clear water. Benjamin was mesmerized as he watched her. We all had a good rest and had trouble adjusting to the new beds. We arrived here last night and started cleaning right away. It was exhausting. After taking a bath, we went to bed and fell asleep instantly, Jasper said brightly. Sweetheart, could you switch to video mode so I can also see the beautiful scenery there? Orissa requested, wanting to get a glimpse of the view. In truth, she wanted to see the children and the others and take in the beautiful scenery at the same time. All right, Mommy, I'm switching to video now. Jasper responded before doing so. Chapter 1386. Upon hearing the mention of a video call, Benjamin leaned closer, joining Orissa to watch their son on the screen. At that time, the video call had not even connected. Orissa turned to look at him, only to have her attention drawn away by her son's voice. Mommy, Jasper said excitedly, holding a phone with one hand while waving at Orissa with the other. Upon seeing Benjamin, he greeted in a soft, sweet voice, Mr. Graham. Orissa looked at Jasper, her eyes sparkling with joy. Where are your brothers and sister? She asked. They're all here. Jasper turned the camera around and immediately captured Gavin, Tim, Zachary, Oliver, and Jesse in the frame. The kids were in the vegetable garden, helping Mary water the plants, pull out weeds, and get rid of pests. They were doing a great job. Darius, Ethan, Jack, and Bradley had also joined in, and they were all having a blast. Not far away, it was misty, the scenery appearing and disappearing like a fairyland. Mommy, isn't it pretty? Jasper asked Orissa once more with an expectant look, seeking praise. Orissa smiled and nodded. It is. Have you guys had breakfast yet? You're already here working so early. We haven't eaten yet. We came here to pick vegetables for breakfast and thought we'd help Grandaunt water and weed the garden. Jasper's voice rose a little, drawing the attention of the other kids. They all rushed over. Is it Mommy? They all rushed over. Is it Mommy? The next moment, Gavin and the others appeared. They were overjoyed when they saw Orissa and Benjamin on the screen. Mommy, Daddy, Mr. Graham. Hey, Orissa greeted back as she looked at them happily. Benjamin also greeted them, but Orissa was the only one talking to the children while he merely listened beside her. Benjamin's brows furrowed when he noticed the heavy fog there and the dew soaking the kids' trouser hems. The fog is so thick. Is it cold over there? Benjamin interjected. Upon hearing his words, Orissa also asked the children, Sweethearts, are you cold? If you are, make sure to put on more clothes. Mommy, it's not cold. It's just a bit chilly, but we're feeling warm from all the work we're doing. Zachary, quickly reassured her, not wanting her to worry. Better be careful. Look at you all. Your pant legs are all wet. Benjamin knew the temperature there was relatively colder and was worried they might catch a cold. We'll be heading back soon. Gavin replied loudly. Mr. Graham, we're all done now. We'll pack up and head back soon. Tim turned around and pointed in Darius' direction. Mary was carrying a basket full of vegetables she had picked. Bradley hurried over to take it from her, ready to head back. Make sure to change your clothes as soon as you get home. Don't catch a cold, Orissa reminded the children. It's not too cold over here. The temperature is just right. It's so comfortable. Darius's voice rang out. It felt as if he was right beside the children. Dad, make sure you wear enough. Don't catch a cold, Orissa called out in that direction. Darius's head appeared within the frame, and he responded with a smile, don't worry. We're fine. You and Benjamin shouldn't worry about us too much at home. Got it. Wherever you want to go and have fun, let Grandaunt take you there. Enjoy yourselves. But remember, safety first. All right, Darius responded, quickly stepping aside. Mary leaned over and greeted the couple. I initially came over to pick some vegetables for breakfast, but they insisted on watering the plants. I'll take them back to change their clothes now. Orissa laughed and said, don't worry. They're having a great time. Get them to run errands for you if need be, Grandaunt. You all should head back now. Don't catch a cold. It's quite chilly out. Okay. Mary let out a sigh, quickly agreeing to lead them back. The kids continued video chatting with Orissa, sharing the scenery with her as they walked. Mommy, this time, we found this place even more beautiful than last time. It's like a fairyland. Chapter 1387. While having breakfast, Benjamin said to Sean, later. I'll bring Orissa to the suburbs for a couple of days. Could you check on her later? Sean looked surprised, his eyes widening a bit. Are you guys going to play? Benjamin glanced at him, responding in a calm voice, is there a problem? Sean's mouth twitched slightly, his heart filled with frustration. However, he still managed to ask, are you taking me with you? Why should we bring you? Benjamin lightly huffed, causing Sean to flare up in anger. He gritted his teeth. You guys had this planned all along, didn't you? If you had told me, you were going out today, I could have gone on a vacation to Rutasii Village with the kids last night. The more Sean thought about it, the more frustrated he became. He felt as if he could cough up blood. Staring at Benjamin, he couldn't shake off the feeling that Benjamin was doing it all on purpose. Benjamin's gaze turned icy. So, are you saying it was a mistake to keep you here to treat my wife? Upon meeting Benjamin's penetrating gaze, Sean faltered slightly, retorting in a soft voice, I never said that. Orissa glanced at Benjamin and gave his thigh a light pinch. Talk nicely, don't be so serious. Benjamin's expression softened. Quietly eat your food. When Benjamin turned his head to look at Sean, his expression instantly returned to its previous state. He asked sternly, can you examine my wife later? Sure. Sean was stunned. Benjamin's mood sure changes fast. Orissa was caught between laughter and tears. She teased Benjamin in a low voice, is this a threat? Sean looked at Orissa with gratitude, nodding enthusiastically in agreement. Benjamin is indeed intimidating me. Benjamin scoffed lightly, staring at Sean. Am I threatening you? Sean avoided his gaze, murmuring, no. Orissa couldn't help but roll her eyes. How childish is this man? Isn't this just intimidation? After finishing their meal, Sean proceeded with his routine checkup on Orissa. Orissa, can I come with you guys? I promise I won't disturb your date. Besides, your health isn't very stable. If I come along, Benjamin will feel more at ease, won't he? Sean spoke, occasionally glancing at Benjamin. If they all go out to have fun, what am I supposed to do here all by myself? Am I supposed to sleep all day? Orissa chuckled. Go ahead, come with Edwin and take some time to relax. Sean was overjoyed. Thank you, Orissa. Smiling, Orissa looked at Benjamin and said, let them go together. Benjamin glared at Sean. How's my wife doing today? Great, super great. Orissa's vital signs are very stable. There's absolutely no problem, Sean assured. Benjamin, I'll go call Edwin, then. Sean was overjoyed, barely able to contain himself. Seeing that Benjamin didn't object, he took it as a silent approval. He quickly went to ask Edwin to prepare. As the two of them were leaving, they also helped Benjamin carry his luggage. They sat separately. Benjamin and Arissa were in one car while Sean and Edwin were in another, followed by a car of bodyguards. They drove toward the outskirts. Arissa had been staying at home for quite some time due to her hospitalization. Now, seeing the changing scenery outside, her spirits soared. She even felt a touch of excitement. The weather is really nice today. She gazed at the beautiful scenery outside the car window without even blinking. With a slight smile playing at the corner of his mouth, Benjamin held her in his arms. Have you been feeling bored lately? Of course. Arissa glanced back at him, then turned her head to admire the beautiful scenery again. She complained a little, you're all worked up for nothing. I'm actually feeling much better. Benjamin touched his nose and asked softly, is it wrong to worry about you? You're worrying too much. Arissa curled her lips, certain that he would be even more anxious when she was in the later stages of pregnancy. I'm taking you out to relax and change your mood, am I not? Benjamin raised his eyebrows. Taking her out is indeed the right decision. Yes, you did the right thing. Arissa responded with a laugh. Chapter 1388. Upon reaching the eastern suburbs, they went straight to the hotel where they were staying in a mansion. Sean naturally didn't stay with Benjamin like he did with Edwin and Arissa. Instead, he lived in the mansion next door, which was more convenient for all of them. They didn't even need to stand on the balcony to take in the view between the mountains and the lake. Since she stepped into that place, Arissa had kept herself busy. This place is truly beautiful. Arissa took a deep breath, feeling the air itself was sweet. The fragrance of flowers mingled with the natural air of the lake created a delightful atmosphere. After Benjamin put away his luggage, he walked over and embraced her from behind. Do you want to take a rest? Arissa glanced back at him. I'm not tired. Let's go for a stroll. Besides the beautiful lake and mountain scenery, there were also numerous recreational activities there. She had never been there before, so everything felt new and exciting. There's no rush. Benjamin had everything planned out, intending to take her out for a fun time later. Have something to eat first, then I'll take you out. Arissa smiled. It took an hour's drive to get there from home. There was still some time before lunchtime, so it wouldn't hurt to have a little something to tide her over. At that moment, Sean was standing downstairs, calling out to the two of them. Benjamin, Arissa, calm down. You didn't come here just to stay in your room all day, did you? Benjamin lowered his gaze to stare at Sean. Do you have any objections? Sean gave a slightly awkward smile and waved at them. I won't bother you anymore. I'm off to hang out with Edwin. Arissa waved her hand and responded, you guys go ahead. We'll join you for a stroll later. Sean quickly retraced his steps, inviting Edwin to go for a stroll. They had been walking for a while when the waiter brought over some snacks. Benjamin personally went to serve the food. After setting everything up, he went over to carry Arissa into the room. The two of them began to eat around the coffee table. Here, he brought it to her lips, and Arissa ate it with a smile. It's your turn to eat. Okay. After Benjamin had a few pieces, Arissa finished most of them. They're so delicious. The snacks were exquisitely made, and the taste was absolutely superb. She laughed and said, we should have invited Edwin just now. Benjamin glanced at her, gently saying, when they return, they'll still be able to eat. Arissa took a tissue and wiped the corner of her mouth, her eyes filled with anticipation as she looked at him. Can we go out now? With a light laugh, Benjamin stood up and fetched a coat for her. Let's go now. Arissa chuckled, wrapping her arms around his neck. Benjamin picked her up and carried her downstairs. Benjamin, you're not planning to carry me around like this all the time, are you? This place is quite large, isn't it? With a light smile playing on Benjamin's lips, he said, as long as you like it, I can totally carry you around this place. The corner of Arissa's mouth twitched slightly. Aren't your arms tired from carrying me for so long? She retorted, yet her heart was filled with sweetness. I'm not tired, Benjamin declared confidently. Once downstairs, Orissa realized that, at some point, the bodyguard had prepared a carriage for them. It was an open-top one, quite romantic. Sightseeing around there in that manner was indeed extraordinary. Orissa was overjoyed. This carriage is so unique. How much does it cost for a ride? Mr. Graham, Mrs. Graham. Miguel greeted respectfully, even helping to open the small door. In response to Orissa's question, he said, "Today, I'm offering my services to Mr. Graham and Mrs. Graham for free." Oh, Orissa laughed. Benjamin placed her onto the seat and then sat down on the other side. Despite his long arms and legs, the carriage seat was still quite spacious. Coupled with the height, the view was quite good. Orissa chuckled, touching the carriage. This design is so captivating. With a slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth, Benjamin carefully placed the visor on her head. "Here, put this on. You can slowly enjoy the view then." Miguel closed the small door, standing aside to watch them. Mr. and Mrs. Graham are truly sweet together. I want to take some photos. Orissa was overjoyed. She took out her phone and handed it to Benjamin. "Help me take a few." "Okay." Benjamin took a few beautiful photos of her and then handed the phone to Miguel. "Take a few pictures of us." "All right, Mr. Graham." Miguel was very enthusiastic. He quickly adjusted the camera lens. Chapter 1389. Benjamin held Orissa in his arms, looking toward the camera. Orissa turned her head to glance at him, her eyes and brows curving into a smile. Miguel happened to snap a photo. Orissa struck several poses, but Benjamin didn't move an inch. It was rare for him to take the initiative to take a photo with her. Asking for more would be impossible, so she decided not to make things difficult for him. "Miguel, you can stop now." "Thank you." Orissa reached out her hand, signaling Miguel to return her phone. "Mrs. Graham, please check if the photos I took are satisfactory." Miguel hurriedly handed the device back to her. Orissa took it over, browsed through the photos, and was quite satisfied. "Well taken." She took another look at the photos Benjamin had taken of her earlier. They were all quite good. The corners of her mouth lifted slightly in a smile. With a burning gaze, Benjamin stared at her, knowingly asking, "Do you think the pictures I took look good?" Orissa gave him a glance. "Can I possibly say otherwise now?" "Of course. I'm beautiful to begin with, so there's no way the pictures are ugly." With a light laugh, Benjamin adjusted her hat for her, instructing Miguel to drive the carriage. Unable to resist, Orissa took a few more selfies and selected a few to post on her Instagram. It didn't take long for people to start liking her post. They also asked her where that place was and which tourist attraction she was at. "Someone asked me where this carriage is from," she told Benjamin. "Just answer honestly." Benjamin's thin lips lifted slightly. Orissa's eyes twinkled as she asked with a smile, "Didn't you say this place hasn't opened yet?" She observed that all the construction measures there were in place, so it shouldn't be long before it was ready to open. "We'll be open next weekend," Benjamin told her. He had originally planned to bring them over the following week, but since the kids were out this weekend and he didn't want her to be bored at home, he decided to move it up. Orissa smiled and responded to her friends on social media. Sean also liked her post and left a comment. "Orissa, where did you get this carriage from? It's incredibly romantic." If it weren't for the fact that he went there with them, Sean would have suspected that the two of them had secretly gone elsewhere. Before Orissa could respond to him, Sean's call came through. Upon seeing the name on her phone, Benjamin frowned. "How did this guy get my wife's number?" Orissa didn't notice the slight change in Benjamin's mood. She answered the call and put it on speaker. Sean's voice came through, filled with excitement. "Orissa, is there another carriage like the one you and Benjamin are riding? We'd like to take a ride too." Orissa smiled, turned her head to look at Benjamin, and said to Sean, "Ask Benjamin yourself." Sean paused for a moment, then complained, "If Benjamin wanted to tell me, he should have done it earlier. It would be better for me to ask you." Sean had barely finished speaking when Benjamin said in a deep voice, "No." Orissa let out a sneaky chuckle. "Benjamin, so, is this carriage only for Orissa?" Sean asked, full of envy. He had been out strolling with Edwin for a while and was starting to feel tired. If there were a carriage, it would have been his first choice of transport to explore that place. There's only one carriage. You can take a bus. Benjamin lightly hummed, which served as his response to the question. Orissa was quite surprised. Is there really only one carriage? Indeed. Benjamin nodded. We'll do a trial run. If the visitors like it and it attracts a lot of people, we'll consider adding more carriages. Orissa understood. This plan isn't bad. Mr. Bailey, you can ride in it after we're done. Sean smiled lightly, having heard what Benjamin just said to Orissa. That's the only way it can be. Even if he wanted to compete, he wouldn't stand a chance against Benjamin. Edwin and I will just take the bus. We won't bother you anymore. Bye. After saying that, he hung up the phone. Orissa smiled and put away her phone. Benjamin embraced her. We're out having fun. Let's not answer these unimportant calls. Benjamin sounded jealous. Orissa chuckled, her eyes shimmering as she looked at him. How would you know it's not important if you don't answer? His calls aren't important. Since when did you become so close with that guy? Benjamin raised an eyebrow, huffing. Chapter 1390. Upon hearing his disgruntled tone, Orissa couldn't help but be amused. Do you hear what you're saying? Isn't it perfectly normal for us to be close? Sean is not only your friend but also my doctor now. You're not expecting me to ignore all his calls, are you? I can't do that. A twitch tugged at the corner of Benjamin's mouth. He had only said one thing, yet she retorted at length. Sure, he replied, but he still sounded jealous. Orissa looked at him with a smile, hugging his arm. You're really domineering. Can't I even answer a friend's call? It's one thing for him to be jealous, but I can't believe he's jealous of his buddy. They're practically a family, sure, but not for too long. Benjamin lightly huffed, warning her. Orissa's lips twitched in disbelief. Rendered speechless, she turned her head away, choosing to enjoy the beautiful scenery instead. Benjamin's eyes flickered at the sight of her puffed-up cheeks. He leaned in close to her and whispered in her ear, "Are you angry?" Orissa blinked her eyes, hummed lightly, and didn't respond to him. Benjamin wrapped his arms around her, his chin resting on her shoulder blade as he gently rubbed his face against her face. Don't be upset, just look at the beautiful scenery around us. Isn't the carriage ride comfortable? Orissa was amused. She wasn't even angry, to begin with, but now she felt like teasing him a bit. I don't mind when you talk on the phone with other women, so why do you have so many objections? Benjamin was taken aback for a moment, then assured, if you don't like it, then I won't take any of their calls in the future, even if they are my business partners. Orissa chuckled, somewhat unconvinced. At that moment, Benjamin's phone rang. He glanced at it and promptly hung up. Unexpectedly, the phone rang again the next second. Orissa glanced at him. Why aren't you answering the phone? Is my presence making it inconvenient for you to answer the call? How could that be? Benjamin chuckled lightly. Didn't I just promise you I wouldn't answer calls from other women? Orissa's lips twitched slightly. Seriously, she glanced at his phone. Benjamin noticed her gaze and took the initiative to hand his phone to her. Without any hesitation, Orissa took it. Seeing that it was Jessie who called, she glared at him irritably. Why aren't you answering Jess's calls? She's also a woman, Benjamin honestly admitted. Orissa was speechless. She used his phone to call back, all the while grumbling to him, you should be happy she's calling you. How dare you hang up on her? What if it's something important? Benjamin didn't retort, accepting her scolding with an unexpectedly contented demeanor. Orissa gave him another glare. Mr. Graham, why can't I get through to my mommy's phone? Jess's voice came through. She was asking about Orissa. Orissa paused. Is my phone out of service? I didn't hear any ringtone. Could it be out of battery? Sweetheart, why are you looking for me? She quickly asked Jessie. Upon hearing her voice, Jessie couldn't contain her excitement. Mommy, why didn't you answer your phone? You had me worried sick. Didn't hear the phone ring. Orissa explained as she quickly pulled out her own phone to check. It turned out she had accidentally put her phone on silent. Sweetheart, my phone is on silent. she said with an awkward smile. Mommy, you're so careless. Jessie pouted, then said to her, Mommy, we've finished breakfast. Can we go soak in the hot springs now? Marissa's eyes lit up. There's a hot spring over there. Sure, but remember to stay safe and avoid deep water. Marissa reminded Jessie, not wanting to restrict their freedom when it came to having fun. We got it, Mommy. I'll let the others know. Jessie said, brimming with joy. Ask them to come to the phone. Marissa decided to start a video call. Jessie didn't call out to her brothers. Instead, she stood there staring at the video, suddenly noticing something different on her mother's end of the video call. The little girl was curious. Mommy, are you in a car? Marissa chuckled. This is not a car. I'm in a carriage. Jessie asked, where did this carriage come from? Is it fun?